idea I think for me is that HR, the strategic HR management creates programs and policies that support organization strategy. That's the main idea for me. What's the difference between HR and strategic HR? HR just focuses on day-to-day management, and strategic human resources focus on how employees can achieve the organization's overall goals. And now, as I work for public sector, there are some differences between um, two sectors, private sector and public sector. So I would say that the public sector is kind of challenging because it must manage pressure of public administration, and also the workforce is often driven by public service motivation rather than profit. So it happens to be that sometimes people say it has always been this way. We are here because it has always been so, and they are not really motivated to change anything. But as strategic HR manager, as strategic leaders, we have to think about public service as well. What can be changed? What can we do differently? And what goals we have to achieve? Not just go to work, but do some work, get some goals. So thinking about my job, or dear audience, if you think about your everyday job, just to ask some questions, to think by yourselves. What's the difference between HR manager and strategic HR manager, or how far are you from one or another? So just think about what is your position in your organization, how close you stand to the CEO or Secretary General. Are you a member of management? Are you involved in the organization's strategic decisions daily? Do you plan or manage the payroll budget of your organization? Is this your responsibility? Do you consult leaders of your organization in strategic HR management theme? Does your organization have performance-based culture? Do you have performance management? Are you involved in strategic HR discussions at national level? Or as Faustine started on country level? So do you talk to your colleagues? Do you speak up when it's needed? So when you mainly answer yes, I'm sure you are a strategic HR manager already. And to focus on some competencies, which in my opinion are important, or which are needed in my work, I must say. So I show you some of the competencies which I think are important. Strategic thinking and performance management. If one has ability to align HR goals with organizational objectives, it all starts from vision, mission, values. Have you agreed and implemented organizational values? And if you haven't yet, please involve all your employees to that process, because when it's a group work, when it's done together, it works better, and these values will be accepted by all people then. If they are just thought in a small group of leaders, they won't work in everyday life. Strategic HR manager understands the future workforce needs and trends and develops long-term talent strategies. It's important to career and development planning and support also. And again, this performance-based culture or performance management, what we do in Finance Ministry of Estonia, we have annual goals for every department. We monitor it every 6 months, how far we are, what's done, what's not. Are we on time as we promised? and people get compensation system is based on performance management. So when a job is nicely done, people will get their compensation money for the goals achievement. Business and public policy acumen, that we understand what does this organization does where we work, what's the organization's business model. When we talk to leaders, we must understand what they do every day or what their department does every day. So this is important in strategic HR management, to know what is your organization about or what they are doing every day. And also use financial and operational data in decision making. And when we inform about HR decisions, we have to base on data, and then we are to be more fact-based, and then we are more reliable, and these decisions are more reliable than just to say I thought, or it came to my mind this morning. It's not so you're not very convincing then. So use data. And the next page is dedicated to the data. Whole page is here. Data-driven decision making. It's really important in strategic HR management, also in leaders' work. So use HR analytics to guide strategic decisions. What we do every year a commitment, or we also call it satisfaction survey. This is employee survey. You can use smaller ones or shorter ones like pulse surveys. In Estonia, we have a company called Fontes. They organize every year a compensation survey where they compare salaries in public sector, in private sector, and this survey is financed by Ministry of Finance for public sector organizations. In private sector, organizations have to pay for these surveys, but in public sector, it's free for public sector organizations. Also, it's obligatory to publish salaries of public servants in Estonia, so you can always compare how much earn the people on other public organizations, how much they earn doing the same job, for example. So you have the information. And also quarterly data on personnel and salaries of public sector is all published by Ministry of Finance in our website. Just to give you a small example, I open this page here. It's in Estonian, unfortunately, but so use Power BI, and just a second. So here is the number of organizations and people in those organizations, also salary statistics, all shown here. So it's all available if you want to compare. So just a second, going back to the slides. And also it's important to measure the impact of HR initiatives on business outcomes. We tend to deal with everything. We try to make the perfect salary systems, compensation systems, but less is more. Just do those parts of HR which is really necessary for your organization or your company. We tend to do all the list of HR actions, but it's not always needed. center or focus on what is important for your company. So less is more is my message here. And the last one, leadership and influence. You as a strategic HR manager should act as trusted advisor to senior leadership. You should ensure compliance with labor laws and ethical standards, but the ethical standards base on organizational values. So once again, I think it's very important to agree and implement organizational values. Then it's always easier to make decisions and to inform the decisions to everybody in the organization. Also influence stakeholders and drive cultural transformation, and also a strategic HR manager is one to lead and manage organizational change initiatives. As a strategic HR manager, you cannot point on a leader and say he or she is doing the change. No, you are one of the person of doing the change and leading the change. So some suggestions to strategic partner to be a strategic partner to executive level: develop your strategic HR competencies, be aware of your core business, what your organization does every day, know your leaders of your organization and their competencies and try to develop them. Be also a leader yourself to understand and support and develop the leaders of your organization. If you have the leadership experience, you are much sophisticated partner to the other leaders. And last but not least, be bold and think out of box.